So one day, this girl, she's chilling with her mom, and they start bickering, and they get into a big argument. And the girl, she ends up getting mad. Like, really mad. She's mad all through the night, and the next day, she's still mad. Now the girl, her name's Anna, and she's 7. And the mom, her name's Marianne, and she's a single mom. Now, because Marianne works late nights at the bar, Anna is expected to get up and get herself to school on time every day. But see, Anna is still mad about the fight they had the night before. So she decides, I'm not gonna go to school today. I'm just gonna go to my friend's house. So she leaves home and she starts walking to her friend's house. And she gets there and friend isn't home. She had already left for school. So Anna's like, what do I do now? And she just starts wandering the streets, I guess, trying to decide about what to do on her day off. Now at some point on her walk, she's approached by this guy, Klaus. And Klaus lives in the area. He's basically the local creep. Now, it's unclear exactly how this happened, but it is presumed that Klaus approaches Anna and he offers to let her play with his cats, because I guess he has some cats. But the cats are actually back at his house, so Anna has to follow him back to his house, presumably. But once she's in Klaus's house, that's where the story starts to get really dark, because Klaus doesn't let Anna leave. He keeps her there all day. And during this time, he does horrible things to her, which I won't go into detail about. And ultimately, sadly, he ends up unaliving her. Then he puts her in a cardboard box, and he dumps the box on the bank of a nearby canal. And later that night, police get a phone call. And it's this woman claiming to be Klaus's fiance. And fiance's like, I think my soon-to-be husband unalived a little girl today, and I want to report it. So apparently Klaus had confessed to his fiancée that he unalived Anna earlier that day. And so fiancée immediately calls the police and turns him in. Good for her. But then the next day, bam, police arrest Klaus. But his story isn't over, because a year later, he goes on trial. Now, understandably, at this point, Marianne is an absolute wreck. I mean, she lost her daughter and now she has to attend the murderer's trial and relive this whole thing. It's just super traumatic. And as you can imagine, she absolutely hates Klaus. Now, at the trial, Klaus does admit to unaliving Anna, but he says it wasn't his fault. He says that actually she was the one trying to seduce him, and that he actually turned her down because he says he's such a good guy. And that she, this 7-year-old girl, got mad that he turned her down and that she tried to blackmail him, saying, if you don't give me money, I'm going to tell my mom that you abused me. Now, no one involved in the case really believes that Anna was trying to blackmail him, but the fact that he's saying these horrible things really pisses Marianne off. I mean, this turd has the nerve to not only unalive her daughter, but then to get on the stand and tell terrible lies about her, trying to smear her reputation? F this guy. And so Marianne goes home, and she can't stop thinking about this. It is consuming her. How could he do that? And so she goes, and she gets her pew-pew. And on the 3rd day of the trial, it's a normal day. And Marianne, she shows up to court like everyone else, and the courtroom is full of people. And she walks in, and she sees Klaus sitting there with his back to her. And that's when she reaches down into her purse, and she pulls out her pew-pew. And she points it at him, and she starts blasting. Blam, blam, blam! She fires 8 times and hits him 7 times. And Klaus, he falls to the floor. He is instantly unalived. And everyone is shocked. And Marianne, she drops her pew-pew, and she says to everyone, and I quote, "He killed my daughter. I wanted to shoot him in the face, but I shot him in the back. I hope he's dead." So of course, then bam, police arrest her on the spot. And eventually she goes to trial and she's found guilty of premeditated manslaughter and unlawful possession of a firearm, and she's sentenced to 6 years in prison. But they let her out after only serving 3. So good for her. Maybe it was worth it.